Thank you for joining me. I'm glad you're here. My name is Jerrel. I develop games for a living. In the past, I've served as digital technology and product development consultant at industry level. Now, I want to discuss two topics today. First, we'll address Sony and then Xbox. There have been developments in the games industry in response to Sony announcing it will end production of physical games media. Recently, Sony has actually responded to the backlash online, and it basically amounts to saying that Sony says that only 500,000 people have canceled PS Plus, and they are claiming that that is only 1% of their subscriber base for PS Plus, and that it doesn't matter. Why would Sony say that? Why would Sony be so dismissive of its paying customers, of its loyal audience? Why would Sony say, you don't matter? It does not matter if you are only 1% of that loyal customer base. For a company to say that you don't matter means that that is how they feel about the entirety of their customer base. At what point do we reach a percentage where you do matter? Is it 10%? Is it 20 or 30%? At what point does the customer actually matter? And to Sony, as we can see through their behavior over the past few years, and especially over the past week, their customers do not matter. And saying that 500,000 people don't matter means that there is a no limit to the number of people that don't matter to them. I think it's such a fascinating and interesting take that shows that Sony does not view us, its loyal customers, its paying customers, they don't view us as people or as someone to have a business relationship with. They view us as a revenue source. I think it is also interesting that Sony PlayStation has also offered a 50% discount to people who are canceling their PS Plus. I find that so interesting that if it doesn't matter, if they don't actually care that people are leaving PS Plus, then why has Sony offered a 50% discount to attempt to stop people from canceling their PS Plus? What this is in the industry is a bluff. They are putting on this bold face and they're saying, oh yeah, I've got a really good hand right now. But you can see through their bluff because they have offered a 50% discount, which means they don't want more people leaving PS Plus. So for them to say that it doesn't matter that people are leaving and then to desperately offer a 50% discount means that the boycott is having some effect, that people voicing their opinions does have an effect on Sony. What Sony has done is they are waging war. They have announced war against the games industry and the consumer base. And I'd like to discuss this topic in more detail, but I'll do that in another day so we can stay focused. And that brings me to my next point, is in this situation when we are dealing with Sony, when you are voicing your opinions, it is important to not get angry. Don't get angry in this situation, no matter how frustrating it is. Stay focused. And the reason why is people can use your emotions to manipulate you. Big companies like Sony know how to do this. They know how to manipulate people. And when you are angry, you don't think clearly. When you are angry, you get burned out and then you get exhausted and then you leave the topic alone. So it is important in this situation that we do not get angry over Sony's anti-consumer practices. We stay focused. That is what we have to discuss about Sony waging war upon us, and I'd like to mention that one more time at the end of today's discussion. Next, we will discuss Xbox. And basically what has happened is Asha Sharma, the new CEO of Xbox, has been quite open with the goings on. Asha Sharma has explained the reasons why Xbox is failing, why they are having problems. And this has resulted in Xbox firing thousands of employees. The exact number doesn't matter because over time there have been numerous waves of layoffs. And one thing that Asha Sharma has brought up is that Game Pass has failed. There are a number of studios that are being significantly cut down or they've been let go. Now, I want to thank all of you because I've seen quite a number of responses to Xbox, and I genuinely want to thank you because what I have not seen is I have not seen For the most part, I have not seen people making this about gender or race. I have not seen, for the most part, people saying, oh, the CEO is this, the CEO is that. And I really appreciate that. I appreciate people staying respectful and staying mature about this topic. So I'm going to share with you my perspective as an industry expert. I have worked at industry level amongst some of the most incompetent people you have ever met, who have become CEOs, who are business owners, who have been brought in and just destroy the industry. They gut the industry, they sell it for parts, they take their friends, put them in roles of high positions, friends that are ill-qualified, and they gut the industry. They are utterly incompetent. So I know what incompetence looks like, and it looks like Sony's leadership. I'm watching Xbox. I'm closely watching Asha Sharma. I am seeing what Asha Sharma is saying about Xbox, the way that Asha Sharma communicates their flaws, where they've messed up, what they intend to do to make things better. And what I see from Asha Sharma is a CEO that is well suited to the task. I see someone who is intelligent and capable enough to perform the task that is required of a CEO. I see someone who is well suited to leading a company like Xbox. Asha Sharma has been left basically a whole bucket full of turds, right? And Asha Sharma has identified what has gone wrong with Xbox. She's very open about communicating where they've messed up. She is very clear about what she intends to do to help Xbox get back on track. So far, what I have seen is someone who is competent, someone who is well suited, who seems to have the experience and the attitude necessary for Xbox to become successful again. My primary concern with Xbox right now is not the leadership, but how is Xbox going to rebuild trust with its existing consumer base, and how is Xbox going to reach a new audience? Because right now, Xbox has a very bad reputation. So from what I've seen, Asha Sharma cutting back on the staffing is a cost-cutting measure, but it is highly focused. It is focused so that they can produce the products that look like they have the highest chance of rebuilding trust with their audience, of producing good quality products, and of earning them revenue that will get them out of this hole that they are in. So all of this firing, you see a lot of people online that are doomsaying and saying, oh, it's the end of Xbox. Let's take another perspective on that. If you have 5,000 people who are dragging the company down, you are paying people who are ill-suited. They are not well-suited for developing games. They're taking too long to develop games because they simply lack experience and competence. The best thing that you can do is to let those people go so you can keep the staff that are most appropriate for their roles. Again, it doesn't matter if you have 5,000 staff. If those people are not competent and experienced, if they are ill-suited to performing their jobs optimally, in this situation for Xbox, you've got to let those staff go. Now, I'm not saying if you got fired, you're incompetent. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that Asha Sharma apparently has done all kinds of analyses and has determined a route forward that has the highest chance of success for Xbox. So, from what I've seen, I respect what Asha Sharma has done, the direction she is taking Xbox, and I am watching closely. But for everyone to doomsay and say Xbox is over does not really have a very strong understanding or an understanding at all of industry matters. What I see is the right path so far for getting Xbox back on track, for being financially stable, for rebuilding trust with their customers, for producing products in a timely manner. I think Xbox is doing what seems to be the best path forward. Now, to wrap up today's episode, earlier I mentioned that Sony is waging war against the games industry, against us as consumers, and so I would like to play a little tune for you. If Sony wants to wage war, then we should do an old-time war tune on the fiddle. You might recognize this. Thanks for listening. I trust you'll take good care of yourselves. Be well.